This is Jarrod Horak, and in this video, I will analyze the Tampa Bay Derby on Saturday, March 8th. This is a Kentucky Derby 2025 points race, and through the first 26 races on my Road to the Derby video series, my top choices have 6 wins, 5 runner-up finishes, and 3 show finishes. A couple of my top choices have scratched out of this series, some officially, 6 for 24 on the Road to the Derby. And I posted my latest Kentucky Derby report earlier today at the runawayhorse.com on my Kentucky Derby page. My weekly Derby reports include points race recaps, updated point standings, and my exceptional 11 Derby contenders. I will include a link to my latest Derby report in the video description below. And this Saturday, March 8th, I'm offering full card analysis at Santa Anita and Tampa Bay Downs. I offer full cards each day Santa Anita runs, and then I do an additional full card each Saturday. So it's a big day at Tampa Bay Downs this week. Tampa Bay Derby Day, 12 races, a bunch of stakes races. And I always include extensive analysis and wagering strategies for all of the races that I cover. And I've been doing these full cards online since the 1990s. So I have a long-term record of trustworthiness and success over the years. And you can purchase my Santa Anita and Tampa Bay full cards individually or get a discount when purchasing them together as part of my weekly Saturday special for $16. So go over to the runawayhorse.com on my sales page for more details. And I also have a new product debuting this week, my Kentucky Derby Prep Race Package. And if you purchase this package, you will get my analysis and wagering strategies for all of the remaining Kentucky Derby points races, my weekly Kentucky Derby reports, and my Kentucky Derby full card at Churchill Downs later this spring. So go over to the runawayhorse.com on my sales page if you're interested in that product. And now we're going to meet the field for the 2025 Tampa Bay Derby. And I will give out my contenders from last to first. This race will be run as race 11 at Tampa Bay on Saturday, March 8th, the Grade 3 $400,000 Tampa Bay Derby. 3-year-olds, a mile and a 16th on the main track. Scheduled post time, 5:34 p.m. Eastern Time. And we have a 7-horse field. And beginning from the inside post is number 1, Owen Almighty. And this one, Brian Lynch is the trainer. Jarrod Ortiz Jr. will ride. This one was second in the Sam F. Davis last time out. Number 2 is Chancer McPatrick for trainer Chad Brown. And this one is adding blinkers. Flavien Prat, the regular rider, stays aboard. His first start of the year. He was a 2-time Grade 1 winner last year. Hill Road is number 3, another Chad Brown trainee. And this one's adding blinkers, and Tyler Gaffalione will ride. And he has not been seen since finishing 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. The next one is Brodeur, number 4, Jose Ortiz for trainer Mark Casse. He won his last 2 starts. Filoso is number 5. Chad Summers is the trainer here. Dylan Davis is the rider, and he was 6th in the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes in his last start. Naughty Rascal for trainer Gerald Bennett. Sammy Camacho aboard. He was a well-beaten 6th in the Sam F. Davis. Finally, number 7, Patch Adams for trainer Brad Cox. Florin Giroux was going to ride this one, and he was 4th in the Southwest Stakes last time out. Now it's time to go last to first in the Tampa Bay Derby. The horse that I picked to finish 7th and last is number 4, Brodeur. This one dueled on the lead, and he did break his maiden at 6 furlongs by a nose, and that was in the mud at Oaklawn Park in his 2nd career start. And then he added Lasix. He stretched out in distance. He dueled on the lead. He opened up a clear lead, and then he held on by a half length, and that was an optional claiming dirt route at Oaklawn on January 26th. It was a wet, fast track. So Jose Ortiz is going to take the ride here for trainer Mark Casse, and he should be up on the pace, but he's going to have to run faster. The horse that I picked to finish 6th is number 6, Naughty Rascal. And this one, he did run well in his first 6 career starts. So for his stake starts, he won the Proud Man Stakes at 6 furlongs and the Armed Forces Stakes at 1 mile on turf. He was 2nd in the inaugural stakes at 6 furlongs, 3rd in the Aventura at 1 mile, and then he stretched back out, stalked from an outer post, made an early move, and he moved up nicely, but then he faded and he finished 6th in a 10-horse field, beating 13 lengths in the Sam F. Davis last time out. So he's definitely going to have to run better here against a tougher field. The horse that I picked to finish 5th is number 5, Filoso, and this one did rally and finish a distant 3rd in the Grade 1 Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland. And that race was last October, and then he was 6th in a 9-horse field in his last start. That was the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes in November. So he's a late runner, coming off of a layoff, adding blinkers, and he'll need to up his speed ratings to compete with these. The horse that I picked to finish 4th is the 3, Hill Road. And this one began his career in Ireland. He won his debut at 1 mile on turf, and then he was 7th in an 8-horse field in a Group 1 race at the Curragh in his second career start. Then he shipped to Del Mar, and he rallied to finish 3rd when he was 61-1 in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. In that race, the early runners did well that day, so he ran well to finish 3rd. Chad Brown is his new trainer. He has 5 workouts at Payson Park for this race, and he adds blinkers, and Tyler Gaffalione will ride, and he does win races with Chad Brown. The horse that I picked to finish 3rd is number 2, Chancer McPatrick. He could end up being the favorite in here. He won his first 3 starts around 1 turn, and 2 of those races were Grade 1 races, the Grade 1 Hopeful and the Grade 1 Champagne. And then he closed from off the pace. He closed from off the pace in all 3 of those races, and then he tried to close from off the pace in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, but he wasn't able to. He ended up finishing 6th that day. He had post 10, 10-horse field. The race flow was against him. Citizen Bull wired the field. Gaming chased the pace. They dominated that race. Then he came out of that Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He had an ankle chip and a quarter crack, so he definitely had some problems. And he did have surgery on the off-season for his ankle injury, and he sports 6 workouts for this. So Chad Brown is saying that this one is about 80% ready for this race, and he's using this as a prep race for the Bluegrass. They want to get him to the Kentucky Derby, and if he runs well here, they're going to go on and move on to the Bluegrass and maybe then have him peak in the Kentucky Derby. We'll have to see how all of that plays out if he's able to make the Derby. But he does add blinkers, and his winning rider, Flavien Prat, is going to stay aboard, and he's going to try to make an impact from off the pace. He definitely needs pace help. The horse that I picked to finish 2nd is number 1, Owen Almighty, and I can see him working out a good early pressing trip from that inside post, and he did run well in all 5 starts. He finished 2nd behind Jonathan's Way in the Grade 3 Iroquois last year. That was in September, and that was the first Kentucky Derby points race. And then he dueled on the lead, and he won the Pasco Stakes at Tampa Bay at 7 furlongs on January 11th. Unfortunately for him, he was disqualified and demoted to 5th place that day. Then he added blinkers. He stretched out in distance. He battled on the pace, and he ended up a half a length behind John Hancock last time out in the Grade 3 Sam F. Davis Stakes on February 8th. So I thought the race flow was in his favor last time, and this is his 3rd start after layoff. He has a 5 furlong bullet workout for this on March 1st. I read Ortiz Jr. is going to ride back. He should impact the pace from the inside post, and he's one that's a logical contender. I don't think he wants to go much further than a mile and a 16th, but he does look like an early pressing threat in this race. My top choice is the 7, Patch Adams, and this one's lightly raced, and I think he might have the most upside in this field out of all of the runners. He dueled and finished a clear 3rd in a 12-horse field when he was the beaten favorite in his debut. That was in a sprint race in October of last year. And then he was the favorite again at 7 furlongs in his 2nd career start, and that was his big breakout race because he pressed the pace, he took the lead, he took over. He won that race by 10 lengths. He was geared down. That was in November, and that was ultra impressive visually. And then he made his first start in a Derby points race in the Grade 3 Southwest Stakes at Oaklawn on January 25th. And that day, he had an uncomfortable start. That was a strange race. We had Gaming that had that early trouble. Sandman blew the brakes. You had the 3 favorites in that race, all at the back of the pack early. And Gaming was expected to be forwardly placed along with Patch Adams. And Patch Adams just didn't have a good start that day. So after his uncomfortable start, he bobbled at the start, and then he steadily advanced. That was a good effort. He was moving up after that bad start. He was moving wide. It was a nice sustained run, and he went from 7th to 2nd. So that was a good move. He was just making that sustained run, passing horses, but then he flattened out in mid-stretch. He ended up missing 3rd by a head. Overall, I thought that was a solid enough effort. And then he returned to Florida because prior to the Southwest, he had been training in Florida, and they shipped him to Oaklawn. And then Brad Cox took him back to Florida. He has 4 workouts for this, including a 5 furlong bullet on March 1st. And Brad Cox has saddled so far 7 horses at Tampa Bay Downs, 3 wins, 3 runner-up finishes. One of those winners was John Hancock in the Grade 3 Sam F. Davis Stakes, that ungraded Kentucky Derby points race earlier on. So this one does reconnect with his winning rider, Florent Geroux. Last time out, Flavien Prat rode, but Florent Geroux rode him in his first 2 starts, including that big maiden win. So for this one, he has early pressing speed and that outside post. This is an Into Mischief colt. And I think he could either get the first run. If nobody wants to go to the lead, he'll go. But I can see some other horses in here that should be forwardly placed. Naughty Rascal is number one, is one of them. Number 6, Brodeur should be forwardly placed. Owen Almighty from the inside. So Patch Adams, Florin Drew aboard. He's going to have a lot of options, early pressing options from that outside post. And I think that he's going to be forwardly placed, possibly getting the first run and getting the jump on horses like Chancer, McPatrick, and Hill Road. So I'll go with number 7, Patch Adams, as my top choice in this Tampa Bay Derby. So that'll wrap up my look at the Tampa Bay Derby. And if you want a free pick each day, you can go over to therunawayhorse.com and click on the Better Bets blog tab at the top of my homepage. Free pick from around the country each day if you're interested. And don't forget to like, comment, and share these videos if you like them. And subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. It's free to subscribe. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.